Look, if we're going to talk about James Gunn's DCU, then at some point we really need to bring up Swamp Thing. Jason Emmett here with the Movie Mix. Now, Swamp Thing, it's not your typical comic book hero. This story has always been a bit darker, a little edgier, and has always had a horror bent to it. So when we recently heard what director James Mangold had to say about his upcoming project, we, meaning I, were pleasantly surprised, and overall, I'm pretty happy about it. As you might recall, Mangold directed Logan, which is awesome, and he seems like he might be the right fit for a movie such as this one. So according to Mangold, the Swamp Thing movie is going to be more gothic horror than superhero, and he is working it as a standalone instead of considering a part of a franchise, while still understanding there's always the chance that it will be later. But I appreciate that he is trying to focus on this movie as a movie, not like what's the bigger picture. He just wants to get this one right. Mangold said of this property, with other kinds of IP, it gets to a religious level. While I'm sure DC views Swamp Thing as a franchise, I will be viewing it as a very simple, clean gothic horror movie about this man/monster just doing my own thing with this just as a standalone. So why do I see this as a good thing? Because if Mangold treats Swamp Thing as a horror story and isn't trying to match the tone of a possible spin-off series of, like interconnected films, there's a better chance of doing this story justice. I like the idea that we can have a DC extended universe, but there be some one-offs that they maybe don't connect. I mean, maybe they're in the same world, but they don't have to have direct connections. Yes, people would love to see a Justice League Dark down the road, but taking this film as a one-off, well, it doesn't exclude that possibility, while at the same time, it allows it to be its own thing. Now, as we've heard, Gunn is doing something similar with the standalone Clayface film, which is going to be helmed by Mike Flanagan. What these films will do is help establish a sort of dark universe within the DCU realm. And that might be exactly what is needed if they hope to establish other characters like Constantine, Zatanna, or even Frankenstein, who we've been introduced to in Creature Commandos, a series that I would argue is already a bit on the darker side. Now, as to when Swamp Thing will be released, we aren't sure, but 2027 seems like it might be a good bet, as we're going to see Superman this year and Supergirl and Clayface in 2026. Also, officially announced DCU movies include The Authority, The Brave and the Bold, Teen Titans, the Deathstroke and Bane movie, and Sergeant Rock starring Daniel Craig. I'm extremely interested in this Authority movie, by the way. That could be a lot of fun. We'll see. Now, of course, we're going to update you when any updates come about Swamp Thing. Oh, and for those of you who forgot, there's already a movie, a campy but culty movie, from 1982, which was actually directed by Wes Craven. That should be in any B-movie creature feature fan's radar. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, it's corny, but it is fun as hell. There was also a not-so-great pseudo-sequel in 1989, Swamp Thing Returns, which led to a series in 1990. There was an animated series in 1991, and of course, the unfortunately short-lived DC series Swamp Thing in 2019, which was actually canceled due to budget and corporate issues with where the future of DC was going to go. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you have not done so, I ask all the time, please go down, push that subscribe button. Actually, I've seen a recent jump, and I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I hope to keep giving you more movie nerdy goodness as we move forward. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment, because most of them are always, some of them are not appreciated. Most of them are appreciated, some are not. And until next time, guys, stay awesome.